They called me sweetheart in front of 40 men. 40 men who thought I was just a uniform filling a seat, a quiet decoration beside their noise. They laughed, until I said 2 words that silenced the room. Reaper 0. And for the first time in years, I saw fear look back at me, the same kind I saw in the eyes of those I once pulled from a burning storm. That my name is Harriet Vale. And silence has never been kind to me. Anchorage winters have a way of making silence feel alive, heavy, waiting, like it remembers something you don't want to. Every morning, I'd wipe frost from an old flight helmet, pretending that keeping it clean would keep the past from tarnishing. That my husband once told me I loved the sky more than him. He was right. He left before the first thaw, his boot prints perfect in the snow, like he wanted the earth to remember he'd been there. The divorce papers froze on the table before I could sign them. My mother's last letter said, "You fly well, but you've forgotten how to land in people's hearts." She was right too. I thought I'd buried that part of me, until one night, a message from the Pentagon blinked on my screen. Joint Special Operations. San Diego Naval Base. I stared at it for hours. I'd promised never to return, but silence was killing me faster than storms ever did. When I read the command roster, one name froze me mid-breath: Admiral Kalen Hayes. The brother of a man who died whispering my name. They say time heals. But in Alaska, nothing really thaws. Not even the dead. I was 33 the night the sky broke open over the Bering Strait. Winds past 120. Radar dead. Command screaming to abort. If we wait for clear skies, I told them, we'll only bring home bodies. And I went anyway. Lieutenant Alvarez flew beside me, the only one crazy enough to trust my madness. The manual called flights like that suicidal. The manual had never met me. We found the seals half buried in ice. Dropped the bird without instruments. When the hatch opened, wind screamed through the cabin and a man stumbled in, blood frozen on his face. "You came," he rasped. "Always," I said. His name was Michael Hayes. He survived. 3 months later, he didn't. Another crash. Another storm. Same command. Same last name. That's when they gave me my call sign. Reaper 0. Because I flew through hell and brought the dead home. San Diego was too bright, too warm, a cruel contrast to everything I carried inside. On the base wall, a sign read, "Only the brave return." I smiled. I wasn't brave. Just unfinished. Admiral Hayes barely looked at me. "This is Commander Vale," he said. "She'll advise on aviation support." During the meeting, he smirked. "Maybe we'll let our lady pilot handle the turbulence section." Laughter followed. I wrote in my notebook, "Don't react. Wait for the moment." Later, I met a young officer, Lieutenant Lexi Moore. All nerves and promise. "They don't mean harm, ma'am," she said softly. "That's exactly how harm begins," I told her. Monday. 0800, 42 officers. All eyes on me. Hayes interrupted mid-briefing. "Before we go any further, tell me, sweetheart, what's your call sign?" The room laughed. I looked right at him. Reaper 0. Silence hit like a blade through air. Someone dropped a pen. Someone whispered, "She's the Reaper." The man who mocked me was the brother of the one who died saying my name. He went pale. And I just smiled. That night, I found the file, Mission Kachemak Gulf. Michael Hayes's final report. The official version said, "Pilot error." But the buried log told a different story. Pilot requested abort. Commander overruled. The commander was Kalen Hayes. He hadn't lost his brother to a storm. He lost him to his own command. And every insult since, every arrogant smirk, was a punishment he meant for himself. Lexi walked in, caught me reading the file. "If they find you, they'll end you," she whispered. "Then let them," I said. She took a picture. "If you fall, this doesn't disappear." By morning, the file was gone. But the truth wasn't. The hearing room smelled of steel and paper. They made me sit under a nameplate that read Reaper 0, "State your findings." The board said. I opened the folder. Radar warnings ignored. Abort request denied. 2 men dead. 1 from weather, 1 from pride. The room froze. Hayes stood up. She's right, he said. I overruled the call. My brother was one of them. For the first time, his voice broke. I've been punishing the sky ever since. I said quietly, leadership without accountability kills more than storms ever will. He was demoted. I was promoted. But no one clapped. The silence felt like respect this time. A year later, at the new training graduation, Hayes stood at the podium, gray-haired, steady. When I was your age, he said, I thought leadership meant shouting louder. Then I met someone who led through silence. Her name is Harriet Vale, Reaper 0. For the first time, the applause wasn't for the legend. It was for the lesson. Years later, they hung my helicopter in a museum. Reaper 0, unknown hero of Bering Ridge. A young woman approached me. I'm Emily Hayes, she said softly. My father wanted you to have this. It was a letter. Tell her the storm finally cleared. I smiled through tears. They called me Reaper 0, I whispered. But all I ever wanted was to bring them home.